What if I told you you don't have a money problem? You have a mindset problem. Most people live in scarcity, always worried about there's not enough, always holding back. But abundance, it believes there's always more opportunities, more growth, more provision. Scarcity says save out of fear. Abundance says invest with faith. And the truth is, the way you think will always shape the way you live. Hi, I'm Dan West, Farmer Dan. I just want to talk to you a little bit about a different mindset that maybe perhaps you haven't thought about. You know, I hear a lot of people advocating, there's one in particular organization that's really big on debt free, and you all know who he is. And I've listened to a lot of different just clips and things that pique my interest. And the one thing I feel that he's missing in his whole financial platform is living with a mindset of scarcity. And I don't believe biblically that's what we're called to do. I don't think that you should be foolish with your money. And there's definitely biblical principles involved around money. But I hear them say things like, you should eat beans and rice until you're debt free, or, you know, don't go on vacation. And, you know, he coins the phrase, live like nobody else today so you can retire like nobody else. And I'm here to say, why can't you have both? You know, I don't think it's healthy or wise to live like that. Like, I think that just gets you to focus so much on your lack. And that's not the God I serve. That's not what he preaches. Because I believe in a God of abundance. He promises abundance if you follow his principles. He promises blessings. In fact, he says, you know, it doesn't even add sorrow to it. Like, it's a blessing. And I just think you can take that a little bit too far. If your goal is to be debt free, that's fine. I don't think that's wrong. And I don't think it's wrong to have your budgets, or, you know, your limits on what you'll spend your money on. My concern is it's so much just you can't have any fun. You can't enjoy life now in hopes that someday you can. That's really the same philosophy that our world has bought into and has instilled on us. This mindset of working for 40 years. Or first it starts, you know, back in school, make good grades so you can get to college and get a degree. And, you know, I think a degree in certain fields is important for sure. I don't want to go to a doctor or a heart surgeon or a brain surgeon and, you know, find out that he's, you know, only learned things on YouTube, right? That's not who you want for that. But I think it's just been overrated. You know, it's get good grades and go to college and get a degree to get a good job. I know so many people that aren't even in the field that their degree is in. You know, it's really kind of it's just an old way of thinking, really. It comes from more of the industrial age. We've kind of moved past that, and, you know, I just think it would be wise to look at a different pattern than what we've been taught and what's worked maybe in the past isn't what works anymore. And, this whole idea of living like today so you can retire, living like no one else today so you can retire like no one else is still that same philosophy of, well, you work hard, you save, you pay off your debt and build up a retirement in hopes that someday you're well enough, right, to enjoy that money and that time freedom at that point. And I don't think that's not the way I want to live. I want to set myself up in a way that I can enjoy life now. In fact, we've all been warned about the get rich quick scheme, but nobody's warned us about the stay broke the rest of your life scheme. And this whole idea that making money quick is somehow wrong or evil. And it's not. I mean, it's like, get rich quick. Well, let's hope so, right? Life's too short to hope that someday we will arrive and we'll have the money and the wealth to do things that, we dream about, and in hopes that we're well enough, or our loved ones that we want to do it with are well enough. But I want to propose a different idea of living life to its fullest now. Like, the quicker you can get wealth, the faster you can have those experiences with the ones that you love. In fact, you might not have the opportunity to do those things with the ones you love. My parents aren't getting any younger. So the faster I can build wealth and create experiences with my family and my loved ones, I look at it as a blessing. But if you have this mindset of just scarcity and just scrimp and save and eat beans and rice so you can build up this retirement, so hopefully someday you can enjoy it, well, I think that's making a lot of assumptions that you're going to have those opportunities, or certainly the opportunities with the ones that you love and would want to enjoy those experiences with. You can really buy more of those experiences faster. And just the whole mindset of scarcity is just holding so many people back that they're not aware of the abundance all around them. It's not that it automatically appears, it's all around us. But when you have a scarcity mindset, you just don't see it. You don't see those opportunities because you're not looking. You're so focused on your lack and what you don't have, rather than focusing on all the abundance around you. I'm reminded of the story in the Old Testament with Abraham, and when he sent his, I can't think of her name now, but the one that he had Ishmael with, and obviously that created conflict in the home, and so he sent her away, and she was stuck in the desert, dying of thirst. Ishmael was dying of thirst, and she just, was just crying there out to God, and it says that God opened her eyes, and there was a well of water, which shows us that the well was already there. It didn't just somehow magically appear. But she was so focused on her lack that she couldn't see the provision and the abundance right in front of her. And I think that's so true of so many of us, and why I think so many people stay stuck financially. Because I believe our looking, when you have the mindset of abundance and you see the abundance all around you, you see the blessings of God all around you, like opportunities, again, they present themselves in the sense that you see them, not that they weren't there before, you just didn't see them. So I personally am choosing to live a life of abundance, not because I have a fat bank account or a big portfolio or anything like that, but I've just really switched my mindset to just not worry about every last penny. And are there times to be frugal? Yeah, I could say there probably are, but I think it can be too controlling. Like I'm still one that loves a sale. If I can get something on sale, and something that we, when I go to Costco and it's a staple that we, consume on a weekly basis, and it's on sale, and it has a good shelf life, yeah, I'm stocking up. Right? There's nothing wrong with saving $2, $3, $4, $5 here or there, but I'll still buy it if it's not on sale. Right? That's kind of the difference. Like some of the, when I was stuck in the scarcity mindset, I might look at 2 items in the store and think, well, I really like this one, but it's 50 cents or $1 more. And I just propose to you that just buy what you want. That $1 isn't going to make a difference. I promise you it's not. No matter how much you think you lack. And I've really been working on this for the last couple years, and I really feel like our finances have really just kind of turned around. And I'm not going to just, I can't pinpoint it on just one thing, this or that. But I do think that looking at life from God's perspective, the perspective of abundance, and not thinking about every last penny. I mean, God says don't worry about tomorrow, and there's wisdom there. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you should go blow everything you have and say, well, God said He'll provide. Like He gives us a brain, He gives us wisdom, He gives us principles and things to live by. But I've really just started focusing more on just enjoying life more and not worrying about if something costs me, extra money. We're getting ready to head down to Branson for a couple of days and just get a little bit of a break from the farm. And I just choose to go down there and enjoy our time and not worry about, well, if I spend $50 or $100 on dinner or things like that. I want to. It's a time of just connecting as a family, and a time of relaxation for us. It's busy on the farm. It's hard on the farm, and we need to take care of ourselves, and so I just choose to not think about. Now, that doesn't mean I go down there and I don't have $1,000 to just blow on supper. That's not what I'm talking about. But just not worrying about every last penny. And if I spend a few extra $100 on the trip, and we enjoy ourselves, and we feel refreshed, and we've connected and made good memories, and it's worth every penny of it. So I just want to throw that out as just think a little bit differently, and change your mindset about money and how you see money, and don't focus on what you don't have, and start focusing on all the abundance and the things that God has for you all around. Just see what that does for you. I promise you, like, just from my own experience and what I've heard others express as well, when they change their mindset, it's just, it's liberating. It really is. Just, it's free. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Agree, disagree, don't care. Let's have a conversation. I didn't explain something well enough. Whatever. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Join me on this journey. Talk to you all soon. Bye.